Hello viewers, this is Int'l, BA Honours MA in English First Class First, Russia University, Professor of English and Brand Ambassador of British Language Club, IDB IELTS and BAETTA International, Bangladesh Kazla Russia Center. This video is on English Language Diploma Certificate ELDC course. In this module, I will talk about the Neoclassical period of English literature. Let's begin. The Neoclassical period 1600 to 1785. The Neoclassical period is also subdivided into three major ages, including the Restoration period 1660 to 1700, the Augustan Age 1700 to 1745, and the Age of Sensibility 1745 to 1785. The Restoration period sees some responses to the Puritanical age, especially in the theatre. Restoration comedies, that is comedies of manners or comedies of errors, developed during this time under the talent of playwrights like William Congreve and John Dryden. Satire too became uniquely popular, as evidenced by the success of Samuel Butler. Other notable writers of the age include Aphra Behn, John Bunyan, and John Locke. The Augustan Age was the time of Alexander Pope and Jonathan Swift, who imitated those first Augustans and even drew parallels between themselves and the first set. Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, a poet, was prolific at this time and noted for challenging stereotypical female roles. Daniel Defoe was also popular in this age. The Age of Sensibility, sometimes referred to as the Age of Johnson, was the time of Edmund Burke, Edward Gibbon, Hester Lynch, Thrale, James Boswell, and of course Samuel Johnson. Ideas such as neoclassicism, a critical and literary mode, and the Enlightenment, a particular worldview shared by many intellectuals, were championed during this age. Novelists to explore include Henry Fielding, Samuel Richardson, Tobias Smollett, and Lawrence Sterne, as well as the poets William Cowper and Thomas Percy. What are the characteristics of Neoclassical period? Classical poems typically consist of a combination of thought and passion, emotions, and analyzed from an intellectual standpoint, and passion in balanced out with reasoning and rationalizations. The result is a blending of emotion, intellect, and often love. On the other hand, Neoclassicism is characterized by clarity of form, sober color, shallow space, strong horizontal and verticals that render that subject matter timeless instead of temporal, as in the dynamic Baroque works, and classical subject matter or classicizing contemporary subject matter. What are the major themes of Neoclassical period? The 17th and 18th centuries saw a dramatic shift towards rational thought and advancements in science, philosophy, rationalism, scholarly allegiance, morality, realism, adherence to classical rules, heroic couplet, mock epic, no passionate, lyricism, etc. are the major themes of neoclassical poets write about. Rationalism is the most essential feature of classical poetry. Neoclassical poets viewed reason as the mainspring of learning, knowledge, and inspirations for their poetry. Neoclassical poetry is a reaction against the Renaissance style of poetry. It's a unique outcome of intellect, not fancy and imagination. Alexander Pope and the Augustan Age with rationality, decorum. Dryden and Restoration, Neoclassicism. Pope again, the periodical essay and novel. Augustan and Johnson, Palladianism, and Arcadian gardens. What is the classical style in poetry? How is it different from romantic poetry? Neoclassical poetry is a type of poetry which follows the pattern of poetry authored by the poets of ancient time in West Greek and Rome. Pope and Dryden were the leading writers who deviated from the traditional schools of poetry and sought guidance in the work of ancient Greek and Roman writers. On the other hand, romantic poetry is popular for its lyrical quality, while neoclassical poetry is lacking in lyrical features due to apathy of the neoclassical poets for passion, feelings, and emotions. They lacked the passion with distrust and suspicion. That is the reason very few lyrics were written in the age of Pope and Dryden. Guys, in my next video on British literary period, I will speak about the Romantic period 1785 to 1832. Be a glorious member of British Language Club, IDP IELTS and BAETTA International Bangladesh to speak English fluently like a native with international standard. Register for IELTS here and enjoy free mock test. Admission and registration going on. Thank you.